Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of GV Baits, and today I will be talking to you about a bait that a lot of anglers probably started off with but just lost confidence with. I still know people that use them and are effective. I still use them, and I feel like this video should be a wake up to rebuilding confidence in those baits, and that is a rattle trap or a lipless crankbait. So the lipless crankbait is a bait that is very versatile, and this bait can be used in lots of conditions: cloudy day, sunny day, grass, flats, shells, you name it. Lipless crankbait, it's a great mimic of bait fish, like this one. This one mimics shad very good, or minnow. It's very good. So lipless crankbaits can be worked, in my opinion, they can be worked. 4 ways are kind of simple if you can just remember them. So the first way I call it is burning it. So when you're burning it, you're reeling it really fast, like at a good fast pace. Not like extremely fast, but like at a very good fast pace. And that bait's coming in really fast, okay? And what that does is the fish don't really see your bait like much, but like a blink of an eye, because it's so fast, and they have little time to react to it, and most of the time they'll react to that bait and eat it, and that's basically searching. So that's the first way. Second way is jigging it. I like to do this. I've actually caught lots of barfish doing this with this bait, and I know, like on the shelves and stuff, I know when there's some deeper water in one area, like a hole and stuff, I'll throw it, pop it a little bit, so make sure it's facing me. Because a lot of times when you throw it, can be facing the opposite way or flat side, and that can make foul hook on your line. So I like to like reel it a little bit to where it's facing towards me, and then let it fall. I don't let it fall for very long, just a few seconds. And then, now it depends what you're jigging. You can go really slow, like just bring it up, which both work. You can bring it up pretty moderate pace, or you can do like a really aggressive rip, and that can just trigger a fish a lot of the times, jigging it up and down. And I've caught so many fish doing that, big fish doing that, and that's basically just a really good technique. So number 3, so you guys know, like on a swim jig, how I was talking in the last video that you would throw that swim jig in grass and pull it through the grass and stuff. That's what this is. So what you want to really do with this is, like, if you know that underwater somewhere there's grass, and there's lots of grass underwater, and it's like healthy, like good grass, not snot grass, that's horrible, but like good grass, not scum, I would choose this. It's simply because I know you're like, wait, that's a treble hook bait, but hear me out. Grass and treble hook bait normally don't go good together, but in this case it does. This ain't got none, the grass ain't got none of this. So basically you're fishing with that bait, and whenever you feel the grass, you rip it. So what the fish see is just the bait fish going, aka the lipless, it's going. Then when it gets caught in the grass, you rip it out, and it keeps going. And that, a lot of times when you rip it out that grass, they hit it right there because they react to it, and that's a lot of your strike whenever you're in the grass. And number 4, there's actually 3, but I like doing number 4. I like casting a lipless like really far, reeling it and just killing it. Reel it and kill it. Reel it and kill it. And that's just a really good way of just like a dying motion fish. This thing's just going and then stop. Reel, stop. Reel, stop. Okay, and that has worked for me a lot of times. That's just a little trick that I picked up myself. I'm sure people use that all the time, but that really works for a lipless to me. And once again, I just don't think many people have confidence in the lipless crankbait anymore. And I used to be one of those guys. I used to not fish this bait ever, or these ever. Like I'd pick up a crankbait instead. I never really wanted to fish a lipless that much. I always thought, oh, it sinks and it can get hung. Sure, it can, but I learned how to fish it, and boy, it helped me. It helped me a lot. And the point of this, of what I'm just saying, is that when you have baits in your tackle box that you don't fish, learn to fish them. Because the more knowledge you get, and it don't have to just be fishing, it could be anything else. The more knowledge that you perceive and get about something, and in this case, fishing a different bait, that can help you. So when I learned how to fish this, I picked up how to fish this, I started doing it, it got me more fish. And I learned when to throw it, how to throw it, and all the tricks of the trade. So I encourage you to, if you're one of those guys, to pick up a lipless crankbait and give it a try. It might surprise you. So bringing out another aspect of lipless crankbait fishing, this is your rod and your gear. So with the rod and for the lipless crankbait, it's kind of like the swim jig rod in the past video. Like I said, your parabolical bend rod. So your parabolical bend rod, I have the Lew's David Fritz crankback rod, and this rod is great for lipless crankbaits, swim jigs, crankbaits, all those because of the tip. And the tip is like really fast action and it's very limber. It's basically a noodle and it's thick up here, so especially for stuff like a swim jig and crankbaits, you still have a backbone. So when you set that hook, you're not just setting it into a noodle. You're actually going to have some give, but at the same time some backbone. So with basically the crankbait rods, you're not going to really go too elaborate with them. You don't have to buy these really expensive rods. This rod was on sale. I bought it. I also use, if you guys seen the before, I use the H2O Express. I forgot what it's called, Performer or something, and I use that because it has a fast action tip, but I only use that one in different cases because of it's a little more backbone, but the tip is not as flimsy as this one, but it has a little bit more backbone, and because of that you could rip it through grass a little bit better than you can with this one. But this one's pretty good. I do like this one. You cast as far as you want with it. I equipped it with a Abu Garcia Silverback reel with some 15-pound Berkeley Tri-Lead on here. So this is just my combo for a lipless crankbait or a swim jig, and I think it always really works for anything that I use like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go use this for a frog simply because with a frog you want to really set the hook with it, whereas to this rod you want some give for a lipless crankbait, because when the fish eats a lipless crankbait, they set the hook themselves because it's 3 hooks on one. It's a treble hook. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you guys about color. And like all baits, color can determine lots of things, like fish and no fish. So first, a staple of my lipless crankbaits that I like to always have with me for a day like this. So on a cloudy day, do not forget this, on a cloudy day, gold is always a very good color. So I always like to keep me a gold lipless. Now the gold lipless is a very great bait on a cloudy day, like before a storm, before rain. It's just great. I don't know, I've always had success on it, like always. And like on a day like today, if I was fishing, this would be like what I'd be throwing. I've just always had success on it. It's a great bait. I don't know what it is, just fish just really like the gold on a cloudy day. Next, what I like to keep is a brim color or bluegill. Brim color is great color, because it's basically matching your natural forage of what the fish are feeding on. So if you know that your fish are feeding on brim, then sometimes you want to really throw this. I always throw this as a search bait. I like throwing this for a search bait, and what that means is that it's finding fish. You're trying to cast as many times as you can, reel it in, and just find fish, okay? And with a search bait, this is like moving baits. A Texas rig is not a search bait because it's slow. This is a search bait because it's fast, and like a swim jig is a search bait, a crankbait, a jerk bait, top water, spooks are really good search baits. These are all search baits, but I like to use this when I'm looking for it, and it's just a great color. Next, I like to look for a shad color, and this is the Team ARC, whatever way you pronounce it. This is a very small lipless crankbait. it's actually translucent. You can see through it, but at the same time, it's got those color shifts in it. It's got purple, the blue, yellow, the pearl. It just really looks like a shad. And like pretty much all liplesses, they got very good rattles in them. And this is also a bait that I use for surge baits, because a lot of times when I'm fishing the flats and all, like I've talked about, I like using a search bait, and I like using a lipless more than a crankbait, because I don't know what's about them. They're just really good baits that you can rip them through grass. It's basically just a grass bait, and it can deliver so many fish, because basically its strikes are purely reaction. And along with shad color, you always want chrome for those sunny days, and just a shad mimic, you know, if they're ever feeding on shad. And the two other colors that I like to use are pretty much the same. These are colors that they kind of go with shad and brim. I like using this in, like, I guess like semi-clear water, tannic water, or just a little bit muddy, not really muddy, but I like using this color along with this. Now, if you'll notice, these are really big rattle traps, and because of that, the head is really big on them. These are the H2O Express rattle traps, and because the head are so big, they wobble pretty good. They don't just do like really tight, they actually wobble pretty good. So the heads are the same, because these are the same baits. They're just two different colors. This one's lost its size because, like, I fished with it so much, and it's been a very productive bait. And I don't know, I just like throwing these baits because it's something different, and they're big, and they kind of go along a shad and a brim, because look at this one. It's got the green and the gold with a white belly. It's not really mimicking nothing particularly. It's kind of like, it really goes under a lot of categories. So this one just is the same kind of thing, just yellow and white with some stripes on it. It's pretty, but I fish this one more simply because it's plainness. This one, not sure, but yeah, they're all equally good baits. They all catch fish. But on a cloudy day, like I was saying earlier, that's one of my favorite things to fish as a lipless crankbait, and in the color gold. So that's all for the colors. That's just the colors that I particularly like to use, okay? And these colors, maybe you have your own favorite colors, go ahead. These are just the basics that I like to use for lipless crankbaits. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you guys out a good bit, and hopefully it teaches you to start fishing baits that you don't fish. Don't forget, please, to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And guys, if you have any questions, or if you have any like bait ideas that you want me to like clarify and talk about, like how to fish it, when to fish it, just if you're just not really sure, then leave it in the comments or just snap me. So thank you very much. Let's go have to wrap it up. So I'll catch you in the next video.